Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It is 1 o'clock on the dot from the WTMJ Breaking News Center. I'm Jessica Ty. Police in Altoona, Pennsylvania have arrested 26-year-old Luigi Mangione in connection with last week's shooting death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in New York City. The man is in police custody after he was found with fake identification and a gun similar to the one used in the killing. New York City Mayor Eric Adams.
He matches the description of the identification we've been looking for. He's also in possession of several items that we believe will connect him to this incident.
Authorities say the suspect also had a handwritten 3-page manifesto. More to come. It is a not guilty verdict for the former Marine accused in the chokehold death of a man on a subway train, but the legal fight may not be over.
Daniel Penny claimed he choked Jordan Neely out of self-defense, acquitted on a negligent homicide charge after a deadlocked jury led to the more serious manslaughter charge being dropped. Neely family attorney Dante Mills says the fight will go on in civil court.
The family's hurt. I promised this family that we would get justice. We're still going to do that. We're going to move forward with our suit.
The city's medical examiner concluding Penny's chokehold killed Neely. The defense argued Neely died from a genetic condition and the synthetic marijuana found in his system. Dave Packer, ABC News, New York.
Here in southeastern Wisconsin, arrest made in the killing of a man found under a tarp in Waukesha. 62-year-old Kevin Leishwick was arrested Friday in connection to the found body. Police recovered the remains of 56-year-old Carlos Maldonado wrapped in a tarp on October 30th near North Street and Moreland Boulevard in Waukesha. He was found with a gunshot wound and his body concealed not far from the apartment complex where he and Leishwick both lived. Maldonado's family reported him missing in mid-April. Leishwick was said to have had a hit list and that Maldonado was the first person on that list. Police cannot confirm if there were other victims. TikTok is appealing a court's decision that would have allowed a ban on the popular app to move forward. ABC's Mike Dubusky with the latest.
TikTok now wants the Supreme Court to decide its future in the United States. Last week, a 3-judge panel ruled in favor of a law that would ban TikTok if the Chinese-owned app doesn't sell itself to an American buyer. The company filed an emergency injunction to pause the legislation from going into effect, saying small businesses and creators on the platform could suffer economic consequences if the app disappears.
Lawmakers have raised concerns the Chinese government could use TikTok to leverage propaganda or spy on American users. Well, for the first time since Sean P. Diddy Combs had been accused of sexual assault and human trafficking, a celebrity counterpart has been named, Jay-Z.
According to the legal documents, this 13-year-old spent hours outside the VMAs. This was in 2000. This was in New York. She convinced a limo driver, allegedly P. Diddy's limo driver, to take her to an after party at the time. She did recognize a number of celebrities at the party. She said that she did witness people taking drugs. She, in fact, did begin drinking. She felt woozy, decided that she needed to lay down. Quote, she found a room which contained only a large bed, no furniture of any other kind, a television or furnishings.
Busby is representing more than 100 women. Time for news about your money with the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Little rough start on Wall Street on this Monday. The Dow is down 109 points to 44,532. S&P 500 is down 26 points to 6,064. That's a little bit better than what I was about to say. NASDAQ also down 77 points to 19,782. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Sonic Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:04.
The Farron dining room table is that kind of table.
Architecturally stimulating.
So gorgeous, it's been known to improve the taste of your food by at least 42%.
Perfect for dinner parties with fancy cloth napkins.
Don't forget the silver gravy boat and candlesticks.
It's that kind of table.
Behold the exquisite craftsmanship of the Farron table, starting at just $4,013, paired with the Chauncey chairs for just $557 each, only at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. There's a sense of pride, community, and work ethic that's second to none. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. We've been here, and will continue to be here for as long as you need us. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
The holidays are happening at Diamonds Direct. Still rushing to finish your holiday shopping? Don't worry, we've got you covered. This weekend only, it's our last chance sale with 20% off virtually everything. Earrings, bracelets, pendants, and more. Plus special financing options up to 5 years. But don't wait, this is your final opportunity to find the perfect gift at the best value before the holidays. Plus special designer appearances. Visit us during extended holiday hours or shop online and pick up in store. Our 20% off last chance sale ends Sunday. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. After spending 4 seasons with the Milwaukee Brewers, shortstop Willie Adames and the San Francisco Giants agreed to terms of a 7-year, $182 million contract. Baseball's winter meetings begin today in Dallas. College football's first ever 12-team playoff field is set. Indiana, Ohio State, Penn State, and Oregon will represent the Big Ten. Alabama is left out. Monday Night Football features the Cowboys and Bengals tonight, and tomorrow the Bucks host the Magic in the quarterfinals of the NBA's in-season tournament. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic. We're doing pretty good. No big crashes to let you know about. Handful of disabled vehicles, but to be honest, most of them are not causing too many issues. I'll tell you about a couple of the newer ones. Wisconsin 175 just before I-94 East. Right shoulder is blocked there due to a car that's broken down. 4143 894 East at Loomis. Right lane is blocked due to a crash. Actually, that's new. That just popped up, so that's a new one. A crash for you there. 4143 East at Loomis. Right lane is blocked due to a crash. I can see traffic is just now starting to slow down, so we'll keep an eye on that and bring you an update here coming up in about 20 minutes. And here's the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today, we saw those clouds early on. High of 50 today. Tonight, mostly cloudy. Will dip down to 30. Tomorrow, we have a high of 34. Colder, mostly cloudy. Wednesday, scattered snow showers. Colder and breezy. High of 27. Thursday, it's going to be cold. Prepare for this. On Thursday, we have a high of 15, and the wind chills will be below 0. Mostly sunny, though. That's looking on the bright side. Friday, increasing clouds. Slight mix in the PM hours. High of 31 on Friday. It's currently 50 degrees in Waukesha, 54 in Kenosha, and 54 here in downtown Milwaukee. I'm Jessica Ty. Sadia Limited WTMJ News Time is 1:08.
65,498 square miles. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get to it. This is Spanning the State, and here are your hosts, Kristen Bry and Brian Noonan.
Good afternoon. Happy Monday.
Yay.
Brian, I heard you have all your Christmas decorations
I
up.
am all done, thankfully. That's not why I wasn't here on Friday.
That is true.
I took the day off just to decorate the house. I can't be bothered. But it's a big undertaking when you're we got to pack away all the stuff that the Christmas stuff is going to take its place.
Yep.
And it's back and forth up and down the stairs, and I'm like,
So what's more decorated at your house, the outside or the inside? Or is it equal?
I would say it's equal.
Okay.
But because outside, the yard is smaller than I used to have, which is nice. But we do the backyard too, so that we have something to look at while we're eating dinner.
Oh.
I did all this work on the front of the house, and then one year I was sitting in the kitchen, and I realized we didn't see any of the stuff that I did. So I started decorating the back, too. And now it's nice because we're eating dinner and we look out the backyard and there's lights and there's stuff. And
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
We might as well enjoy it, too.
Like, do it for us, not for everybody else.
Right. And the inside is all done. It's driving the new dog crazy. She doesn't know what to make of it. But the old one, he doesn't care. He's like, I've seen this before.
It's fine.
Yeah. We added a new full-size tree this year. So now we're up to 3 full-size tree and a 4.5-foot tree.
Wow, it's Christmas at your house.
Yes, and it's not like I live in an estate. I live in an old Georgian, so there's one on the main floor, one at the landing on the second floor. Debbie added a new 6'1" in Molly's room because she's coming home with the boyfriend. So we got to have it all decorated. And then the 4.5-foot tree that was in her room for the last couple of years now is in the office.
All right, well, keep Frankie away from it because she would be stealing all of those ornaments. And we've decided not to put a single additional ornament on our tree because she keeps taking them off.
That's the
thing.
All
right, so coming up today, the word of the year for both Merriam-Webster and Oxford are out. So we're going to discuss if we think those are, if they hit the nail on the head or not.
Word of the year worthy?
Word of the year, yes, exactly.
Right.
And then speaking of Christmas and Frankie met Santa yesterday.
Ooh.
So we'll talk about how that went and also just a bigger conversation about Santa and the tradition of Santa and parents' role in that. So we will talk about that at the end of the hour.
And we will give you a spoiler if you want to
if you have
ears.
kids who are excited about Santa in the car, we will give you a heads up on one too.
And then we'll spin around the state. We're going to talk to Caden Milton. He's from the Lowlands Group. He's their beverage development and operations manager. If you are a beer drinker, you want to be here for the 12 Beers of Festivus, which Lowland Group is doing at all of their locations. We'll talk to Clayton about that. And then Milwaukee doesn't have a Christmas parade anymore. They had it for 91 years. How did it start? Why don't we have one anymore? Chris Foran from the Journal Sentinel will join us and tell us why. And then I have very good news for anybody over 45 with winter on the horizon.
All right. But first, Brian, do you have strong feelings about working from home versus going to the office?
My opinion on that has changed. When it first started, I thought, this is not going to go well for employers. And then the more I've heard, the more I've read, the more personal experience I've had watching my wife work from home and the feedback that her company has given her. My daughter works 100% remote. I'm all for it. If you can be as productive or even in some cases more productive working at home because you're not getting interrupted all the time. There's that it takes a certain kind of person, but I think it's a good thing.
I think this is coming from a quintessential extrovert. Mm-hmm. I believe that there is benefits to going for workers. I think there is benefits to going into an office and seeing your coworkers every day. And I know there's a benefit for me versus for a long time working alone, working like as a freelancer and stuff. As far as I like seeing my coworkers every day. Not everyone shares that opinion, so I understand for some people that they are very happy to be left alone in their pajamas. But for me, I see the argument as far as the camaraderie and the culture that it can build. But I also see the burden of, well, if I can do this from home, why can't I just do this from home?
Right.
And so, this has been an ongoing debate for employers since basically 2020, since everyone started being able to go back to work. We know, for example, last week when we were talking to Ricardo Torres, this is a big sticking point for Kohl's employees that we're told that they now have to go back to work. But now, heading into 2025, when we know that there's going to be a fight over the budget.
Yes.
And things that we typically think that are going to be included in that is tax cuts, return tax credits versus funding education, both through K through 12 and higher education, childcare, kind of the typical things we think of when we think of budget negotiations. But now it sounds like remote public employees could be something to compromise over. So we're going to talk about that on the other side of this on Spanning the State.
Be our eyes on the road. See something out there that I should know about?
There was an incident on Blue Mountain Road going eastbound where 2 lanes are blocked.
Call me, Debbie Loziga, at the Hall Volkswagen traffic tip line at 414-238-9329.
Hi, Debbie, Michael. I-94 eastbound. There is a crash that the sheriff now has the right lane blocked.
The drive affects you. Why not be part of it? Give me a call, 414-238-9329.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
Where the heck
heck is everybody?
Beg your pardon?
I'm at your store and...
Yes?
Nobody's here.
That's because Hasseless Mattress showrooms are employee-free. Take your time and test our selection of Beautyrest, Sealy Posturepedic, CertaPerfect Sleeper, and more without commission-crazy salespeople breathing down your neck.
Yeah, sure, you say that, but come on.
What?
Where the heck is everybody?
Hasseless really is employee-free.
Okay.
So we can sell mattresses for way less, like the Beauty Sleep by Beautyrest Elm Cove B Queen. Others sell it for $12.99, but Hasseless has it for $8.42. Plus, check out super low pricing on Sealy Posturepedic, CertaPerfect Sleeper, and more.
Yes, but...
And through Monday, get an extra $248 credit just for shopping local.
Well, that's great, but I just have one question.
What's that?
Where the heck is everybody?
Open 9 to 9. Find an honest-to-goodness employee-free showroom near you at Hasseless.com. Hasseless, employee-free since 2014.
Oh, do you think you have some trivia acumen? Well, perhaps you need to test that aforementioned acumen this Wednesday night, December 11th at WTMJ's Trivia Showdown, presented by Quizmaster Trivia in support of Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive. Join WTMJ's Jeff Sherman, Sandy Max, and Jessica Ty as they host the competition at North Pillar Brewing in Waukesha. The game starts at 7 o'clock. If you can't make it, don't panic. You can still help Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive with a monetary donation. Just text Capco, that's Capco with a K, to the WTMJ Talk and Text line 855-616-1620 to donate. You can also go on WTMJ.com, click the big banner and make your donation there. And you can donate on behalf of Spanning the State. Wouldn't that make you feel good? Sure it would. So grab an unused and unwrapped toy and some of your favorite friends. It's WTMJ's Trivia Showdown presented by Quizmaster Trivia in support of Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive this Wednesday, December 11th at North Pillar Brewing in Waukesha.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes working at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from my friend Tracy.
One of the things that enticed me about Three Pillars and wanting to work there was their stellar reputation and just being top rated. I got this job. I told people, I told family and friends and people I knew, and every single one of them was like, oh my gosh, you're going to love that place.
Find a rewarding career at threepillars.org.
You don't gotta go to work, but you gotta put in work.
Don't go to work, you don't get paid. That's how it works. It's Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristen Bry. And the battle over returning to the office has entered the Wisconsin government chat. And so
I don't understand how this is an issue.
Why?
I understand it's an issue for employers, and I guess the state is a huge employer, but we're going to put the whole budget on this issue?
Well, and I don't know if they're threatening that. But so over the weekend on WISN's Upfront, Evers basically, and we have the clip in a second, but Evers basically said that it's a non-issue as far as he would not sign a budget that includes forcing public employees to go back to work. But the background here is that last month, also on Upfront on WISN, Robin Voss had suggested he wants to have state employees working in the office at least 3 to 4 days a week.
Still have far too many employees that are working from home. We had that audit that came out over the summer. I think it was some employees hadn't been in the office in months and months.
State employees,
State employees, yeah, state employees. That's really an embarrassment. So number one, we need to make sure people are actually doing their job.
You want to force them back into the office?
I would love to be able to say people have to be back in the office at least 3 or 4 days a week. I mean, we saw Amazon, which was 3 days a week, just announced by January 1st, 100% of people are going to be back in the office. I think we need to look at how state government functions, and one of the reasons that we have not had the services we want to deliver is because a lot of employees aren't working, or they're working only from home and not doing it very well with little supervision.
So I don't know. So he referenced an audit that was released by a nonpartisan legislative audit bureau last year that found most state agencies and the University of Wisconsin institutions allowed employees to work from home up to 5 days a week, and that there was in 2023, the audit bureau visited selected state government offices 6 times and found only about 1/3 or fewer workstations were in use. Okay. But I don't know what he's pointing to as far as work productivity going down.
Well, my question would be, if you have, as he said, you have employees who haven't been in the office in months, they must have managers. if those managers are not seeing a decline in work, or if they're not paying attention to, as Speaker Voss says, a decline in work, a lack of efficiency, that should have been remedied or addressed by the manager of that person. So, yes, I'm sure there are some people who maybe take an hour and a half for lunch, game the system. There always are. But overall, the first audit said that there was an increase in efficiency.
Yeah, most agencies are saying that telework increased the efficiency of their operations. And so separately, the point that Governor Evers made, though, on yesterday on Upfront, I thought it was something that I hadn't thought of specifically when it came to government work.
He also told us the other day that he wants to introduce, as part of the budget, language that would require state employees to return to the office 3 to 4 days a week. Would you sign the budget if that was included?
No. It's working. We're working. We've heard for years the idea that somehow it's not fair that, so many of the people that work for the state of Wisconsin come from the Madison-Milwaukee area. Well, we went out of our way when we during the pandemic and post-pandemic to hire people in Rhinelander and all sorts of different places in the state because we knew they could work from home or work from an office that's remote from Madison.
And to me, that's really interesting, not just in the case specifically for Wisconsin, but when the increase of amount of remote workers happened, as far as that being a logical, available option, was the fact that you open up the pool of applicants of people who can do this job. And so you get potentially more qualified applicants who, don't want to move necessarily, and you would open it up to a lot more people. And so, like you said, as far as if that was a big complaint prior to this of the lack of representation in different agencies from people who live across the state, not just in Milwaukee and Madison, this, are you going to reverse that?
No, I think the governor makes a good point, and you're right to back it. You've got a huge pool of potential employees across the state. For whatever reason, they may not want to move to Madison, and that makes sense.
Madison's very expensive.
Madison's very expensive. If you have children, maybe you're almost at that retirement age, but you still know your stuff, and you would still be a benefit to the state. I don't see a problem with living where you're at and working remotely. The problem comes when you have an audit go in and they say, well, only a third of the workstations. Well, then why is the state spending so much in office space?
Yes.
Then we're wasting money. So are we going to force our workers to come back to justify having all this office space, or are we going to risk downsizing our office space in order to create this job pool that seems to be working and also opens up more potential for good employees?
And maybe this is asking for too much, but is there an opportunity to rent out some of the empty space?
Sure.
Instead of just, like the coordination of selling off the property in total, which maybe there's an argument to do that as well. But I mean, couldn't you turn some of these into like not actually WeWorks, but WeWork type situations where,
yes.
If it's big, old, beautiful, sometimes government buildings.
Yes, if the third floor suddenly becomes a startup for something else, or an established company just needs more office space, that would be fine. It's also a way to attract a younger workforce, because knowing my daughter and her friends, and she's 28, knowing what they look for now, remote work is a big selling point for companies. They want that work-life balance. They don't feel they need to be in an office if they're doing a lot of state bureaucratic work where you're not really interacting with the public, you're not forward-facing. Why can't I do that from home?
I think the argument is like there as far as like I obviously can do this work from home. It's just what else do you potentially lose? And I don't know if it's the nature of the work. Like I said, I think personally, I think it is healthy when we talk about third spaces, when we talk about a loneliness epidemic, when we talk about a lot of the positive externalities of actually being with people in person. I think there is that is the argument that resonates with me. But if you're going to do that, I also think keeping things flexible is important. Of like not having to like schedule a doctor's appointment before or after work hours, or being able to like, as long as I get it done, if I work tonight from home, but I have to be gone this afternoon, having the flexibility, having the mutual understanding with your managers is a good compromise.
And I don't know how it works for everybody. I just know the people I know, they still have traditional work hours. So you're in the office when everybody else is in the office in quotes. You're working through those business hours. So it's not like whenever I'm going to work, as long as I get my 8 hours in. You punch in and you punch out, and it's all done that way. And for this job, I think it's important for us to be here. I mean, I've done the show remote. You've done the show remote. It's okay every once in a while. But some jobs you do need to be there, and some people need to be around groups of people. I think for a lot of people, not having a commute, not having those extra stressors frees them up to do other things that then enhance their life as much as coming into an office and talking to their coworkers.
Fair enough. All right. Well, it'll be interesting to see how much of a role this plays in next year's budget negotiations, and we will keep our finger on that pulse. But right now, we're going to take a break, and we'll have more after this.
The Upswing is your place for commerce and community.
You have new refrigerated lockers that can walk up and kind of get the food. Is that an automated process?
Hosted by Jeff Sherman.
How it works is we pack up the food according to their online orders, so they have the dignity of choice. We place them in the lockers, and they have a certain amount of time to get them. They're all monitored for temperature, food safety.
Weekdays from 10 to 11 on WTMJ. Presented by Horicon Bank, the natural choice for all your banking needs.
The holiday season is a magical time of year to visit Lake Geneva. Embark on an enchanting Santa cruise on the lake. Take in a parade of trees and marvel at the world's tallest glass tree, built before your very eyes. Enjoy holiday shopping in a historic downtown. Chill out with festive food and libations in an igloo under the stars. Or find adventure on a zipline, ski hill, or snow-covered nature trail. Make Lake Geneva your place for holiday fun this year. Check out visitlakegeneva.com today for all the festive details.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano talking with Dr. Mike Nolte at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doc, a lot of people are hesitant to visit a surgeon for spine care.
The good news is that the vast majority of patients that I see and the majority of conditions that I can see can be successfully treated without surgery. And I don't want patients to think that just because you're seeing a spine surgeon means that you're going to be signing up for surgery. We talk about in my clinic kind of a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C.
Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. orthowisconsin.com.
Easttown Jewelers in Mequon is closing its doors after 40 years. Savings up to 70% on everything. Easttown Jewelers has a great selection of diamond rings and earrings, pendants, gold and silver jewelry, colored gemstone rings, and Mary's custom designs, and much more. Looking to get the perfect gift for someone special this holiday season? You've got to check them out. Store hours are Tuesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Doors will be closed forever. So don't delay. That's Easttown Jewelers in Mequon.
If you need a place for new home interior ideas, then you have to come talk to us. Our on-staff decorators know furniture, home decor, and a lot more. And they're not only creative, but also very willing to help you make great choices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Stop in often, because our inventory changes daily.
Design Exchange.
Previously, it has been gently loved, but here you'll only find very well-conditioned premium home decor items that you likely won't find elsewhere. Distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original art, and other tasteful home decor at a value. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
It is Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristen Bry. And do you still have a landline? Do you and Debbie use a landline?
No, we had one up until, I think, 2018, maybe?
Okay, my parents still have a landline. I have not had a landline since I lived with my parents, I think. Okay. I don't think as an adult I've ever had a landline. But here is some new news. AT&T is discontinuing its landline services in Wisconsin. But before, if you are someone who relies on a landline, don't panic. It's not going to happen until 2029. But this still feels like a big move.
It is. The only state that will now have landline service through AT&T is going to be California when this is all over. And I don't know why California needs landlines, but they do. So it's as you can imagine, most of the landlines that are used in Wisconsin are used by people over 65. That's 90% of people who identify as landline users are over 65. 30-some% are like 35 to 40, and that's it. And I remember, like, talking to people who were in a house and didn't have a landline, and I'm just from that. That was part of when you set up your house. You called and you got the phone hooked up, and then
now it's internet.
Yeah, and I realized, like, at the last hour, we never used a landline. I had it, but I never checked the answering machine. I'm like, anybody who wants to call me calls my cell.
There you go. Well, let us know. Do you still exclusively use a landline, or is this not going to affect you? But ABC News and local headlines are next.
This is a special report from ABC News Healthcare Killing Update. I'm Michelle Franzen. A break in the case after last week's fatal shooting of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. New York City police say Chiefs of Detectives Joseph Kinney says Altoona police in Pennsylvania arrested a man on unrelated charges.
A man was taken into custody today in Altoona, Pennsylvania this morning. He has been identified as Luigi Nicholas Mangione. He's a male, 26 years old. He was born and raised in Maryland.
ABC's Aaron Katursky on what led police to a fast food restaurant and the suspect.
McDonald's employee in Altoona, Pennsylvania, recognized him from images police had shared through the media around the world, and police credited that individual with recognizing the person, calling police, who were able to take him into custody, where he's now charged on gun offenses.
This is ABC News.
Sunny Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:31. I'm Jessica Ty. A body recovered this morning from the Kewaunee River in northeast Wisconsin. Deputies with the Kewaunee County Sheriff's Department searched the river after receiving a call early this morning for a welfare check. The caller said his brother had gone fishing but didn't come home last night. The deputies also found the man's vehicle and fishing gear. The investigation into how the man died is still going on. The city of Milwaukee gets nearly $15 million to create an electric vehicle charging network. The U.S. Department of Transportation awarded the funding to the Public Works Committee. The money will go to build 53 electric vehicle charging stations. And today, the EPA announced it's banning 2 cancer-causing chemicals used in everyday products. This is a big deal. The chemicals are used in everything from dry cleaning to glue. PERC and TCE are both used in dry cleaning. PERC is also used in car care products, TCE in spot removers, lubricants, and glue. Both have been linked to a number of cancers, including liver, kidney, brain, testicular, and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Time for news about your money. Let's check out the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. It has not been so pretty on Wall Street. Yep, everything's still down. The Dow is down almost 95 points to 44,548. S&P 500 is down nearly 30 points to 6,060, and NASDAQ is down 108 points to 19,750. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Let's get you an update on the roads right now with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic. We have, for the most part, been pretty good. We did have a crash pop up. That's causing some slowdowns just a little bit after 1. That's on 4143 894 East at Loomis Road. Right lane is blocked due to a crash. I can see that the tow truck has arrived on scene. Traffic definitely slowing down, though, because of it. So just a heads up there. The only other problems are a couple of disabled vehicles, and to be honest, they're not really causing too much of a slowdown. Here's a look at your 5-day forecast. Today, mostly cloudy. Tonight, low of 30. Tomorrow, cloudy and mostly cool, high at 34. Wednesday, scattered snow showers in the mix, colder and breezy. High of 27, and then prepare yourself for Thursday because winter is coming. It's going to be mostly sunny, though, so bundle up. Maybe add your sunglasses. They'll make you feel a little bit better. High of 15, wind chills below 0. Friday will warm up, increasing clouds, slight PM mix. High of 31 on Friday. It's currently 54 degrees in Union Grove, 46 in Port Washington, and 54 here in Milwaukee. Sounding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:34.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
The holiday shopping season is here. WTMJ's John Mercure. I've got a great idea for you. Gift cards from the historic Fox and Hounds, voted the best supper club in the area, make perfect holiday gifts. I was just talking to a coworker today who was at the Fox and Hounds last week, said it was fantastic. It was spectacular. And if you buy a $100 gift card, you get a $20 gift card free. Buy $250, get $50 free. Buy $500, get $125 free. With the buy one dinner, get one free offer, when you buy one gift card, it's like getting a second gift card for free. So gift cards for your loyal employees and clients make wonderful holiday gifts, and your company will save hundreds of dollars. Order online at foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. Book your company party at the Fox and Hounds in December or January. Half of your employees' dinners are free. The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the famous Holy Hill Shrine. It is gorgeous at the holidays. The holiday lights and decorations are absolutely magical. Enjoy your free dinner tonight at Fox and Hounds.
Say the word, you'll be free. Say the word.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristen Dry, and it's that time of year when there is roundups of XYZ thing for 2024.
That's
the
right.
biggest moments, the biggest trends, and when it comes to being a dictionary, the biggest words.
I always like this time of year. I like hearing about the Oxford word, the Merriam-Webster word. There's the Lake Superior University list of overused things, words that should be retired. So I love all this stuff.
It's also like the things you're like, oh yeah, that happened this year.
Yes.
When
Yeah,
you like
with
get
those.
reminded of things that happened, like really big news stories back in February and March. You're like, oh, that was this year? Oh, wow, man.
Yeah, we've
like even
gone
the
through so
Olympics feels
much.
like a really long time ago.
Was that this year? I always get to this time, and every year we go through so many things, and with this 24 news is pummeling you all the time. It's like you could say this happened this year. What month? I have no idea.
I have no idea. I can
Nothing.
barely remember what I did on Saturday.
Yeah. I remember hearing it when I was wearing shorts, so I'll put it between June and August.
Yes. All right. Well, at least for Merriam-Webster and Oxford, their words of the year have been released. You may have heard this already. One, I think, is much more fun than the other. I'll say it that way.
All right.
So for Merriam-Webster, their word of the year is polarization, which I don't know. For me, when I think about the word of the year, I always think of something that is kind of a new word that encapsulates the vibe or a trend or something that is kind of like a new meaning to that word. Versus polarization, to me, kind of just is like it's a boring word for this year's word.
Yes, it may be an old word, but
It's actually
it
not
is,
that old as far as words go.
Right, but it has definitely been at the forefront of a lot of conversation over the last year.
But haven't we been
And so-
polarized? Haven't we been talking about being polarized since like 2016?
Yeah, I would have.
Like, I don't know why this year,
I've been
despite it being
polarized.
another election year, but it's like, are we any more polarized this year than we were in 2020?
I think so. I think,
Really?
Well, this year there was more. Didn't you feel there was more hyperbole when it came to the polarization? Like, if this person is elected, all these horrible things will happen. And if the other person is elected, all these horrible things will happen. And if you're in this camp, you can never be in this camp or agree with anything they say. So I think the polarization got deeper and more widespread. And so that's why it jumped to the front of Merriam-Webster's
I mean, and
list.
apparently, you know, Merriam-Webster logs 100 million page views a month, which is a lot. And so it chooses its word of the year based on data, tracking a rise of search and usage. So it is based off of data instead of just topics.
Right.
But in the comparison, as far as a more fun word that is used as a term for something that is a little newer, Oxford, their word of the year is brain rot.
Oh. I expect
Had you heard of brain rot prior to this announcement?
I think I have, but my brain is so rotted I probably didn't remember. But yes, I imagine that coming from the Brits who look at that and say, no, your brain is rotting.
So brain rot is more specifically describing those of us who spend the act of spending hours scrolling mindlessly on Instagram or Twitter or TikTok. And so instead of just watching like an actual quality program on your other bigger screen, it is the micro content and just the endless swiping up of consuming more. And so when you do that, you might be suffering from brain rot. And so that is its phrase/word of the year. And it beat out, see, these are all other topical 2024 specific words, in my opinion. Demure. You learned about demure.
I did learn about demure. Well, I knew what demure was.
But demure is a new viral sensation as far as TikTok.
Very demure.
Romanticy and dynamic pricing. See, all of these feel more anchored in specific 2024 vernacular than polarization seems to me. No?
I think, well, for me, polarization was used more. I know what dynamic pricing is. I don't know what romanticy is. I'm guessing it's some form of literature, like romance fantasy.
Romanticy, a genre of fiction combining elements of romantic fiction and fantasy, typically featuring themes of magic, the supernatural, or adventure alongside a central romantic storyline.
So a woman and a dragon having a
I think it's like fairy
affair.
There's a whole. I've heard rumblings of like there's a whole like fairy romance novels thing happening that some women are very into.
Oh, got to find a wood nymph. That's what I'm looking for.
Basically, yeah, exactly.
All right, now those are more, to your point, more 2024 specific. But were they as widespread in usage as
Probably not.
polarization?
I'm sure there's a lot of people who still are like, why is demure a thing?
Yeah.
Like for those who are not chronically online.
Thankfully, I am enlightened because you and Rhea are chronically online.
We are.
And you can tip me to the new things.
So then the other, I'm trying to think if there was any. Oh, I was going to go over the words as a little memory lane.
Yes.
Words from the last 10 years, just as a refresher of words that have gotten to this point, or gotten to be the word of the year in the past. This is specific for Merriam-Webster.
Okay.
2023, authentic.
Mm-hmm.
2022, gaslighting.
Oh, that was big back then.
2021, vaccine. 2020, pandemic. Those two are a little on the nose.
That makes a little easy.
2019, they.
I wonder.
Do you remember that?
I remember that was when the issue of pronouns really started.
Was it? Is that what it was?
Yeah, that's what they is about.
2018 was justice. 2017 was feminism. Was that the year that Me Too was Me Too 2017 or 2018?
I'm guessing it was 17, and then was
I think it was 17.
Was George Floyd 18? That would have
George
been
Floyd
justice?
was 2020.
Okay, why would justice come up?
2016 was surreal. 2015 was ism, and 2014 was culture.
Ism isn't a word. Ism is you just tack it on the end. Socialism, feminism, anti-disestablishmentarianism.
There you go.
All of the isms.
The top isms to earn high traffic spikes and big bumps in lookups on the dictionary company's website in 2015 over the year before are socialism, fascism, racism, feminism, communism, capitalism, and terrorism. So thus they took the ending and made it the word of the year. All right. Well, when we come back, we're going to switch gears a little bit and talk about Santa. and specifically the tradition of Santa. And we're going to talk about it in a veiled way, but in just as a warning now, if you do have little ones with you that are very excited about Santa, maybe come back at the top of the hour. This is Spanning the State.
Hi, Monica.
This is our WOW engagement ring for Christmas.
Wow.
Wow.
It features a 1-carat created diamond center stone.
Completely surrounded by a halo of little created diamonds that makes it look huge.
And each of those 3 bands is covered in diamonds.
I've never seen anything like it.
2 carats total weight.
There's no way this is less than $5,000.
No, we're selling these for half that much.
$24.98? I need to lie down and put a cool rag on my forehead.
And you can choose a 1-carat round, oval, or radiant diamond as your center stone.
Kessler's is the coolest store in the world.
But there's more. Look at this.
It's a matching pendant. Take that rag off your head and get up, Rick. You have to see this.
How big is that?
It's a 1.5-carat created diamond, surrounded by the same halo of little created diamonds. 2 1/3 carats total weight.
This tag says it's just $1,998.
See it for yourself at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What do your home and auto have in common? They're yours, and Progressive protects them both. Bundle today at Progressive.com.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Patrick and Monica initially chose a bank to get pre-approved and provide financing for the purchase of their first home. But they were getting a bad feeling when a week after their offer was accepted, the bank still hadn't locked in their rate, nor had the appraisal been ordered. Monica shared her concerns with a friend who happened to be a multi-time AccuNet client. That led to Monica connecting with one of our senior loan consultants the same day, and after gathering some information and reviewing options, we locked in their rate right then and there with loan costs $3,600 lower than what the bank had quoted. The appraisal was ordered right away too, and the loan closed on time just 3 weeks later. We also noticed an oversight in the contract that led to a $3,000 credit from the seller. You can get a generic pre-approval and average or worse service from a bank, or you can get the kind of fast service, advice, attention to detail, and savings that made Monica and Patrick AccuNet's latest raving fans. All you got to do to get started is click on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
If you're seeking Lake Country's finest, don't miss out on the Westerly opening this spring. Whether it's active fitness, enjoying a swim in the indoor pool, improving your handicap using our golf simulator, or hosting guests on our rooftop patio, the Westerly has you covered. Providing seniors with award-winning residences throughout Wisconsin, this locally owned and operated company is engaged and offers unmatched services. Apartment reservations are booking quickly. Call Stacy at 262-737-5501 or visit livingwesterly.com.
For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
SemperFiRoofing.com.
Do you want to give the disclaimer again?
So we're going to do our best to talk about this in a Christmas-friendly way.
Yes.
But we thought we'd talk about it still. But if you have little ones who are very excited about Santa, this might be a good time to change the channel and come back at the top of the hour when we spin around the state.
Exactly.
But I bring this up because yesterday, Frankie got to see Santa.
Nice.
And last year when she was just a little potato at 3 months, had no feelings. She would, anyone could hold her and she would just, was the same. And this year I didn't know how it was going to go because she is a extroverted kid.
Okay.
This is a kid who has zero stranger danger, hugs, like people that she's especially recently. Like we were at Kegel's Inn for their 100th anniversary on their party on Friday night. And, we're friends with Julian and Steph, the owners. And she's met them before, but she's 14 months. Like she has no memory.
Right.
And she just immediately went to hug Steph. So like she hugs strangers. She's very cuddly. She's very extroverted. And so I was like, I don't know, maybe she'll be one of those kids who just is into it.
Yeah.
Nope. Not even a little bit.
It makes
sense. As soon as she saw the outfit and the beard, and this Santa was wonderful. Because our niece was also with us, who's 7, and she was very excited to tell him what she wanted, and he was very patient with her. It was great. But yeah, Frank, we tried. We did this the first attempt for Frankie to sit on Santa's lap, and it was immediate no.
It makes sense. We have pictures from Molly, like you said, her first, she was 4 months old, first Christmas. Beautiful pictures of her on Santa's lap. The next year and the year after, the crying pictures, the hysterical kid having crying on Santa's lap. And then at 3, boom, it was off to the races. Oh, yeah. Once they comprehend who Santa is and what Santa means, then they're all into it.
And the magic of Santa.
Yes.
So that gets me to the point as far as wanting to talk about this aspect, because there is, I would say, I don't know if this is specifically a millennial thing, but there are more millennial parents now choosing to not continue the tradition of Santa with their kids.
And I think that is selfish and wrong. I'm going to go out and not hide my hot take on this. If you rob your child of this joy and magic that comes once a year and doesn't last, right now you might think it's going to last forever. It doesn't, and it changes everything. Then, for whatever reason, you're a little too self-important and selfish.
I don't think it's that. I think some of the arguments that are made as far as, the conversation around lying to your child and not wanting to specifically, repeatedly lie to your child and have them then grow up and be like, well, you lied to me. And I don't know. I don't have a single friend who was like, oh, man, I can't trust my parents because they told me about a man in the North Pole and created magic for me in my formative years.
My 4 brothers and I can blame our parents for a lot of stuff. Not one of us has blamed them for that particular issue. And we have children. And again, Molly will be able to blame me for a lot. She has never blamed me for that.
And that's the thing, is like, I'm also like, to these parents, I want to be like, really? You're never going to lie to your child?
Right.
You're not going to tell them that, like, oh, we can't watch Bluey right now. Bluey's sleeping.
Right. Or, no, I never did drugs when I was in high school. Or, no, I waited till I was 21 to drink, just like you should. Get over yourself.
And so I am squarely in the camp of, we are helping Santa. It is a magical time of the year. There is a magical place with the elves who, we just read the story of the shelf on the elf, or the elf on the shelf, and how that magic as far as what they're doing, what mischief they're getting to. Right. They're going back to the North Pole every night. And I don't know, because I had a mom who worked her butt off to make Christmas every year be so over the top and wonderful. Like, I will not be one of those parents who says, well, we have to not.
Good. I'm not that my opinion means anything. I'm happy. I'm happy that you're doing that, because it's listen, generations grew up with Santa Claus, and there's a lot wrong in the world. This is not one of those things.
Yeah.
This is something, and I know it sounds hokey coming from me, but this is you've used the word magical. It is. Watching a kid, once they know and understand Santa, the look on their face and their eyes, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And then it's gone.
Doesn't last very long.
And some kids, it's gone quicker than others. And I don't consider it lying unless your kid, kid gets to whatever age and they ask you straight out, then you can decide. My dad always said, he who believeth, receiveth. That was it. And I was like,
so wait, did you stop receiving once you stopped believing?
No.
Did he follow through on that
No,
that
but
promise?
Because he didn't want, I'm the oldest. He didn't want me spoiling anything for my youngest brothers.
Yeah.
So it was just, because I remember having that conversation after listening to kids at school, and I was, getting ready to go to college, and I said to but I remember having it, and he said,
because what's the age difference?
From myself to my youngest brother is 11 years.
Yeah.
So that would be that would be a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I was probably, 10, 11, when I asked him point blank, and he gave me the answers, and he said, but don't ruin anything for anybody else.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's cool. So, there's times I wish I did still have that belief.
Yes, that was my biggest thing. When I realized it, because I wanted the North Pole to be real so bad.
Yeah.
And not even the idea of a single man coming to every house in one night. I wanted the Norman Rockwell North Pole to exist, and I still do.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
All right. Well, when we come back, we're going to spin around the state on Spanning the State.
Hey Bucks fans, it's Justin Garcia from the Bucks Radio Network, here to tell you about the launch of the Bucks Central podcast feed. Everything Bucks on demand in one spot. From sideline to sideline, hear all the ankle-breaking, rim-rattling, and twine-tingling highlights, exclusive interviews, and more. Subscribe to the Bucks Central podcast feed wherever you get your podcasts. All the Bucks content your heart desires in one spot. Check out the Bucks Central podcast feed.
The holiday season is a magical time of year to visit Lake Geneva. Embark on an enchanting Santa cruise on the lake. Take in a parade of trees and marvel at the world's tallest glass tree, built before your very eyes. Enjoy holiday shopping in a historic downtown. Chill out with festive food and libations in an igloo under the stars. Or find adventure on a zipline, ski hill, or snow-covered nature trail. Make Lake Geneva your place for holiday fun this year. Check out visitlakegeneva.com today for all the festive details.
When you work at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, you'll be helping us help others. There are many that need our help, and we need your help to carry out our mission. St. Vincent de Paul is always looking for part-time team members. You'll get competitive pay, benefits, and flexibility in scheduling. So apply online at svdpmilw.org or stop by Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, or 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
I'm Brett Matchke, and you're due for service.
Ridgelawns.
Heart disease won't stop us. Diabetes won't slow us down. Allergies, high blood pressure, shoulder pain, cancer. Nothing will keep us from pushing Wisconsin ahead. Because with the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, forward progress is what we stand for. That means always pushing and always innovating. With new technologies and breakthrough treatments that make life better, whether we're sick or well. It means providing more convenience and more ways to receive medical excellence for all your health needs, for big and small. It means being there for you, our family, caring for yours. So let's keep raising the bar. Let's keep testing the limits of what medicine can do. Let's push ahead and make life here as great as it can be. Visit Freighter.com to find out how.
Looking for a career path with great salary plus healthcare and retirement benefits? The Milwaukee County Transit System is hiring. Join us on Wednesday, December 11th from 2 to 6 p.m. in our administration office on 17th Street for a career fair. Attend the fair to learn more about our open positions for bus operators, safety officers, mechanics, fuelers, and detailers. Staff will be on hand to answer questions about the positions and assist in filling out applications. Take your career to the next level at MCTS. Visit ridemcts.com/careers.
Is outdoor living limited at your place? Well, imagine a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, maybe even an outdoor kitchen in your yard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is a local, family-owned company that consults, designs, and builds these things. They're the best. Let them make Outdoor Living Unlimited in your yard like they did in ours. We are Wisconsin. We live outdoors as much as possible. Make the most of it with help from Outdoor Living Unlimited. See OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Sweet, flaky, and utterly delicious. That's the famous Kringle from O&H Danish Bakery. Guaranteed to get you on the nice list, O&H Danish Bakery can deliver that heavenly goodness right to your doorstep. Now that's a memorable gift where you know you've nailed it. And it arrives fresh in just 2 business days, anywhere within the country. Order online today, ohndanishbakery.com, or come on in to O&H Danish Bakery in Racine, Oak Creek, or Sturnivan and taste the difference of bakery made from scratch.
I knew there had to be a better way to get relief from joint pain aside from surgery and harmful medications.
That's football legend and dancing champ Emmitt Smith, who knows a thing or two about joint pain.
Turns out I was right. It's called QC Kinetics, and now tens of thousands of patients and counting all across the country, they're feeling amazing. They say, hey, Emmett, you were right.
QC Kinetics zeroed in on a technology that is revolutionizing pain treatment. They are transforming patients' lives. The largest provider of non-surgical regenerative treatments using natural healing properties to help restore and repair aching knees, hips, shoulders, and backs. Call them today for your free consultation.
QC Kinetics. I knew there had to be a better way. I love it when I'm right.
QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA, founder of Right Choice Tax and best-selling author on how to have less stress with the IRS. The IRS has you in their crosshairs. We are local and know how to deal with the IRS or state and solve your situation. Just the other week, we successfully removed the target on Tim. He had been audited and was told he owed the IRS. We fought the notice and got him a refund instead. We were also successful with Nate to get $94,000 of penalties removed. This is why I started Right Choice Tax Resolution, to help people fight the IRS and state. You don't know the ins and outs of taxes or the more than 20 penalties they can impose on you. Make the right choice and call us at 844-222-1192. We want to help so your bank account doesn't get wiped out, your paycheck or Social Security garnished, or a lien put on your house. Get rid of that stress and get back to enjoying life. Call us at 844-222-1192 or visit rightchoicetax.us right now to book a meeting.
Protect mom's assets, protect your assets. Call Krause Estate Planning, estateplanningpeople.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 2 o'clock, it is 51 degrees. Our high today. Going to be approaching that, and then we'll start to work our way down to 29 tonight. Clouds and dipping down to 31 tomorrow. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Adam Roberts. An arrest has been made in the death of a man found concealed in a tarp in Waukesha. Remains of 56-year-old Carlos Maldonado were discovered in October near North and Moreland Boulevard in the city. The man had been missing since mid-April. Here's Waukesha Police Captain Dan Bauman.
The medical examiner was able to determine the manner of death as a gunshot wound and determine this to be a homicide.
62-year-old Kevin Leischwick was arrested on Friday after a search of his car.
And inside the vehicle was a firearm. And we were able to determine that the rounds that were located in the victim were fired from that firearm.
Leischwick allegedly had a hit list, and Maldonado had been at the top of it. A body has been recovered from the Kewaunee River in northeast Wisconsin. The sheriff's office confirming the recovery after a search of the Kewaunee River. Early this morning, deputies had received a welfare check call when the caller saying his brother had gone fishing but did not come home on Sunday night. Authorities found his vehicle and fishing gear in the river earlier this morning. The investigation remains ongoing. Police in Altoona, Pennsylvania have a person of interest in custody in connection with last week's shooting death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in New York.
26-year-old Luigi Mangione is now a person of interest in the United Healthcare CEO murder. He's being held on Pennsylvania gun charges. New York City Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch.
The suspect was in a McDonald's and was recognized by an employee who then called local police. Responding officers questioned the suspect, who was acting suspiciously and was carrying multiple fraudulent IDs as well as a U.S. passport.
And a firearm as well as a suppressor, both consistent with the weapon used in the murder. Dave Packer, ABC News, New York.
Overseas, Syria's prime minister says most cabinet ministers are still working. This after rebels overthrew President Bashar al-Assad. Some state workers failed to return to their jobs, and a UN official says the country's public sector came, quote, to a complete and abrupt halt. BBC Middle East reporter Linda Sinjab has more from Damascus.
The HTS, Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, have sent its forces to many government buildings so that to avoid the scenes of yesterday of looting and breaking through government buildings and maintain order.
Refugees have crossed back into Syria from neighboring countries and are looking for friends and relatives who disappeared during Assad's rule. TikTok is continuing to fight a potential ban in the U.S.
TikTok has filed an emergency motion aimed at stopping a potential ban on the social media app that is set to take effect next month. The company says it's appealing an earlier decision that ruled the ban could move forward, now sending the issue to the Supreme Court. TikTok drew attention to the economic impact of a ban, claiming small businesses on the platform stand to lose around $1 billion if the app is taken off American app stores. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
Time now for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. All red for the majors this afternoon. The Dow down 151 points at 44,492. The Nasdaq is off 126 at 19,733. And the S&P 500 down 35 points this hour at 6,055. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports traffic and weather coming up next. Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 2:04.
Okay, close your mouth and take a deep breath in through your nose. So the way it's supposed to be is that you should be able to breathe easily. You shouldn't feel constrained. What it should feel like is air briskly flowing freely through both nasal passages, day and night. And if not, there's a problem. And it's a don't know what your problem really was until you got it fixed kind of problem. You're living with it. I mean, you're tired a lot. It might give you headaches and sinus pressure, but you're living with it. Yeah, you sound like almost every patient we help until we get their problem fixed. And then you hear them saying, why would I put up with that? Advent will get you breathing freely again with simple in-office solutions like turbinate reduction along with balloon sinuplasty that really can change your life.
To date, Advent has solved over 40,000 breathing triangle problems. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows. When you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary.
Does hosting for the holidays make you realize you need a home remodel? As a family-owned and operated business for over 40 years, J&J Contractors knows the importance of family gathering. Let them customize the perfect kitchen, luxurious bathroom, or a finished lower level for all your entertaining needs. Turn your house into the home of your dreams with J&J Contractors. Schedule your free consultation today. Just Google J&J Contractors or call 414-423-9200. J&J Contractors. Welcome home.
Wins, wins, and more wins are waiting to be uncovered at Potawatomi. Get ready to find yours in a winter stash of $300,000 in prizes this December. Play with your rewards card for entries, drawings on 3 thrilling Thursdays. Some seriously big wins are waiting for you. Winter Stash at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers' shortstop Willie Adames Brewer no longer heading off to the West Coast on a 7-year, $182 million contract with the San Francisco Giants, all on the heels of a massive $760 million contract signed by Juan Soto and the Mets. Baseball's winter meetings begin today down in Dallas. College football's first ever 12-team playoff field is set. Among the schools that will participate this year include 4 from the Big Ten: Indiana, Ohio State, Penn State, and Oregon all in the field. Meanwhile, Alabama is on the outside looking in. Monday Night Football tonight pits the Cowboys against the Bengals, and the Bucs off today. They'll host the Magic on Tuesday night in the quarterfinals of the NBA's in-season tournament. Let's check the roads. Your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic. Still quite a few incidents right now on the board, including on 894, where we've got some big backups, all connected to a crash right near Loomis that is still being worked on. We've got the right lane blocked, a couple of vehicles, a squad car still out there right now, and our backups stretching from Loomis all the way back west towards the Hale. So if you're on 894, count on a few extra minutes on your ride from the Hale to the Mitchell right now. Also got a few other incidents scattered across the system. Some debris in the road at 43 South on Locust. We've got backups stretching a little bit in the northern direction. Also, a couple of broken down vehicles, one on 4541 South right by Silver Spring, and another one on 94 just beyond the Moreland Road ramp heading east in Waukesha County. Everywhere else is looking okay at this hour.
Traffic is sponsored by Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Design Exchange is where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast coming up tonight, mostly cloudy. Pretty mild, actually, for mid-December. 30 the low. Will be a bit colder tomorrow, only up to 34 for the high. An Arctic front's going to be moving through this week with scattered snow showers possible on Wednesday, as well as breezy conditions. Early high of 27, and we're falling down to 15 on Thursday. It will be sunny, but wind chills Thursday should dip below 0. Slightly warmer than on Friday with increasing clouds and an afternoon rain-snow mix, a high of 31 degrees. Right now in Madison, it's mostly sunny and 51. Green Bay, sun and 48. Waukesha, a little cloudy and 50. And in Milwaukee, right now we've got clouds and 49 degrees. I'm Adam Roberts. Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 2:09.
It's time to take a spin around Wisconsin and find stories you might have missed. Here's Spinning the State on Spanning the State with Kristen Bry and Brian Noonan.
If you miss any of Spinning the State today, don't worry. Just text SPIN to 855-616-1620. All right, Kristen, here we go. Another week of spinning. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Let's spin.
Brighton.
Brighton, slow internet could be one of the most frustrating things we have to deal with because it's, first world problems. Thanks in part to some federal grant money, more than 1,000 homes and small businesses in Kenosha County now have high-speed internet service available from a Spectrum expansion with help from $209,000 in federal grants. The Journal Sentinel reported that most of the new coverage is in the towns of Brighton and Paris. The project's total cost was more than $872,000, according to Spectrum. The grants were through the American Rescue Plan Act and Wisconsin's Public Service Commission. The federal government has poured billions into the expansion of high-speed internet, but millions of Americans, including an estimated 250,000 families in Wisconsin, remain disconnected or lack the money or skills to access the service. So new federal funding, which was announced in November, includes around $13 million to help implement a Wisconsin digital equity plan to extend broadband to every resident, business, and institution in the state by 2030.
All right.
Yeah, it's still hard to wrap your mind around that internet is so pervasive that there's still people who don't have access to
A lot of people.
Yeah, a lot. So that is rough. All right, but it's coming. Sit tight, it's coming, and then you'll be sucked into the internet and go, why?
And it's going to be brain rot.
Yeah, and you'll just realize it wasn't all it was cracked up to be. Let's see what's
Read a
next.
Just, that's
Do
a
it
joke.
while you
That's a
can.
joke.
No, read.
Madison. All right, big changes are coming to West Mifflin Street. So if you're not a UW-Madison alum or have not spent a lot of time in Madison, you may only know West Mifflin Street from its annual appearance in the news after the annual Mifflin Street Block Party.
Guilty.
The street has changed many times over the years. Always a popular student enclave between the UW-Madison campus and Capitol Square, West Mifflin Street was a cradle for protests against the Vietnam War in the 1960s and 70s. The block party grew out of Vietnam protests. We actually covered that story back in the back in May.
Yeah.
That makes sense? All right. Now, the look of the neighborhood, referred to as Miffland, is changing. Using a neighborhood plan that was adopted in 2019, the city is working with developers to increase the supply of housing in Miffland while preserving the area's identity. The city learned that most residents of the area cared less about the buildings themselves than about the sense of community that the architecture created. So according to the reporting in the State Journal, the Mifflandia plan, Mifflandia. It's like Portlandia, limits how close new buildings can be to the street and encourages the inclusion of porches and balconies. In the 5 years since the plan went into effect, there has been a wave of redevelopment projects with more on the horizon.
That sounds good. Is it kind
Well,
of...
I was actually just in Madison on Saturday.
I saw you bemoaning your concern.
State Street.
Yes, that it's been Disneyfied like Times Square.
It's not even Times Square. It's like Brookfield Square.
Really?
That's what I said in my tweet. It's like we were trying to find late night food after our friend's Christmas party, and so we ended up on State Street, and I just looked around, and it was just like every single storefront was some kind of corporate food chain.
Oh.
And it just was like, oh, this is definitely not the State Street that I grew up with.
Did they get rid of the adult bookstore? Isn't that State Street's the one that runs right down to campus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What adult bookstore are you thinking
It was on, well, if I'm facing campus with the Capitol at my back, it used to be on the left-hand side. And there was a club right across the street. That's where I did comedy, and
Comedy on State is still there.
That was not the original one. Comedy on
Okay.
State's on the same side of the street as that book, because it was one of the jokes that every comic would make about being across the street from the adult bookstore.
I mean, there's a room of one's own, but that's a feminist bookstore.
No, this was not feminism.
I don't think maybe that was closed
feminism.
before my time,
Could
Brian.
be. I hope so. Yeah, I was performing there just off the Catskills, so it was like 47. Anyway, let's roll it one more time and see.
Waukesha.
Oh, this is fun. So no matter how famous a person is, they get hungry, right? If that famous person is a former NFL player, they get really hungry. So a Waukesha food truck took to social media to report that Pewaukee native and former NFL Pro Bowl defensive end J.J. Watt paid their truck a visit with a group of friends. He enjoyed the food so much that the next day he placed an order and had it delivered to, I love this sentence, his private jet before leaving town. Phoenix Mobile Grill, which has 2 locations in Waukesha, served Watt and his group last Wednesday night. Then, according to TMJ4, the truck's co-owners, Selena and Alejandro Aguilar, didn't realize who Watt was until the 3-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year posted the food truck on Instagram. Oh, then they knew. He posted a selfie in front of the truck with his group and a caption that said it wasn't too cold, or then the business posted, it wasn't too cold for these former NFL stars and their friends to come for their Phoenix fix tonight. That's what the business wrote. So what does J.J. Watt like to eat? Well, it appears everything.
Okay.
He likes to eat it all. They shared Watt's order. The first night he ordered a gyro, an American breakfast burrito, and tacos. And then the second time for his private jet, he ordered the Korean tacos and burritos, steak tacos, and a breakfast quesadilla, along with seconds of the American breakfast burrito. I don't know how long his flight was, but...
Or how many people he was sharing it with, but that is a lot of food.
Up. So there you go. If you missed anything or want any more details, then text SPIN to 855-616-1620. When we come back, we've heard of the 12 Days of Christmas. What about the 12 Beers of Festivus? Oh, you know, this is right up my alley. We'll talk to a Lowlands Group Beverage Development and Operations Manager about this promotion that is going on all month. We'll do it next on Spanning the State.
The Trivia Showdown is on.
Get ready for another stop in our WTMJ Trivia Showdown, benefiting the Capco Kids to Kids Toy Drive, brought to you by Quizmaster Trivia.
Next up, we'll be at North Pillar Brewing in historic downtown Waukesha. That's Wednesday, December 11th.
Come see me, Jeff Sherman.
Come see me, Jessica Ty.
And me, Sandy Max, and test your trivia knowledge.
Bring an unwrapped toy. Have some fun. It's WTMJ's Trivia Showdown, Wednesday, December 11th at North Pillar Brewing.
Hi, folks. This is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. Now that we're into the holiday season, it's time to celebrate with new lights and ceiling fans. And our huge award-winning showroom displays hundreds of the best quality lights and fans. There's not a brand we can't get, and our prices are the lowest, even lower than online. I guarantee it. And our knowledgeable staff is always here to assist you in making the right choices. If it's lampshades or repairs you need, we do all that too. There's something for everyone at BBC, including antiques, collectibles, fun for the kids, and our famous free popcorn. We are open Monday through Saturday and located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue, across from Sobelman's and Bachman Furniture, all near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
All right, right, test your trivia acumen this Wednesday, December 11th at WTMJ's Trivia Showdown, presented by Quizmaster Trivia in support of Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive. Join WTMJ's Jeff Sherman, Sandy Max, and Jessica Ty as they host the competition at North Pillar Brewing in Waukesha at 7 o'clock. If you can't make it, you can still help Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive with a monetary donation. Text Capco to the WTMJ Talk and Text line 855-616-1620 to donate. Of course, donate on behalf of Spanning the State. Brian and I, we will really appreciate it. But if you can go, grab an unused and unwrapped toy and some of your favorite friends. It's WTMJ's Trivia Showdown presented by Quizmaster Trivia in support of Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive this Wednesday, December 11th at North Pillar Brewing in Waukesha.
Here in Wisconsin, one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza, Palermo's. For almost 60 years, Palermo's has focused on feeding Wisconsin families. And though Palermo's has grown a lot since 1964, they're still family-owned. They're still proud to call Milwaukee home. And they're still committed to making the best frozen pizza possible. From their new and improved rising crust pizzas to their guilt-free Primo thin pies, Palermo's has a delicious slice for every appetite. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer food aisle. Palermo's, flavor is our family's business.
And at the Festivus dinner, you gather your family around and tell them all the ways they have disappointed you over the past year.
And is there a tree?
No, instead there's a pole. Requires no decoration.
Day of Festivus, my true love gave to me. 12 months of gifting.
11 pilgrims wandering.
10 farmers weeping.
9 duchesses dancing.
8 maids of brewing.
7 friars tasting.
6 Gordons cheersing. 5 chapless bees. 4 jolly elephants.
3 Belgian monks.
2 golden rings. And a Santorin daydream.
Well, I don't know what that is, but this is Spanning the State. I'm Kristen Bry.
That is an original composition by Lowlands Restaurant Group employees, the 12 days of Festivus, and they are celebrating, doing a lot of stuff for the holidays. And this one, of course, actually, our news director, Tiff Pua, sent us this and said, this seems like right up your alley. And I said,
indeed.
It is.
It is.
Because the 12 Beers of Festivus are an ongoing holiday celebration at all the Lowlands Group restaurant locations. And telling us all about it, Caden Milton is here. He's the Beverage Development and Operations Manager for Lowlands Group. Caden, welcome. Glad you're here.
Hey, thanks for having me. Yeah, we're really super. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no. You're super excited. I like that. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, we're really excited to do the 12 Beers of Festivus. It's the first year we've been able to import 12 Belgian holiday beers. It's a big thing over there. All the breweries have their own special Christmas brew that they do, and we've been working hard the last 2 years with some of our brewers and importers to get some of these new to-the-market beers and exclusive to our locations.
What makes the Belgian holiday beers? Because every brewery over here has a Christmas ale or a holiday beer. What makes the Belgian ones so unique and special?
Because they're all unique and special. I mean, there are some we've got.
It's like picking your favorite child. Each one is so nice and special.
So what makes Belgian the destination rather than, I'm sure Milwaukee has some great holiday beers.
Right, they do. But the Belgians, they don't. It's not a specific style.
Okay.
Each brewery does their own specific Christmas beer. So Duchess, for example, does a chocolate cherry sour that's super stunning. The Silly Winter is a Belgian style triple that's a little more boozy but a little bit lighter on the palate. But my current favorite one is the Gordon Christmas. First time it's been imported to the United States, and it's exclusive to us. Super malty. You got that Belgian candied sugars in there, and it's just really fun glass. Got a snowman on it with a big smiley face. It's fantastic beer.
So you mentioned you've been working on this for 2 years. What went into deciding which of these winter beers was going to be featured during the 12 Beers of Festivus?
Every year we take a trip over to Belgium, and we meet with everyone. There's a big festival on the Grand Place for Belgian Beer Weekend in September. And so I'll go through all the booths and meet the export managers, the brewers, and try all their beers. And, that time of year, they usually also have all their holiday beers that they're featuring as well. So I'll go through and sample all those. And then I'll work with our importers and be like, this is something that really interests me. So they'll go back to the brewers and we'll work on collabing and getting the beers over here. So I think last year around this time was when we started putting this program together, and it finally came through all the beer shipped over the summer.
So, Caden, why Festivus? Because I think of Festivus, and as we played in the intro, I think of Seinfeld. I think of the airing of grievances. So why is the 12 beers of Festivus instead of the 12 beers of something that's not as ingrained with a different time of pop culture?
It just works. It's goofy. I mean, we changed all the lyrics. So we're like, why, it doesn't have to be 12 to be Christmas. Let's be, Festivus. It's a festival time of year. So, but what's really cool, each lyric actually goes through and corresponds to each beer. So take the 4 Jolly Elephants. The big pink elephant is the representative of Delirium in their brewery and the Noel beer.
Ah, okay.
So then the 9 Duchesses Dancing, it's in Duchess of Burgonia. She's on the bottle. She represents the brewery, so 9 Duchesses Dancing. So each lyric actually relates back to the beer somehow, which is really cool.
What I like is I'm looking through this list. There are no lightweight beers on this menu, so you should probably have a driver because a lot of them is that a Belgian thing or a winter beer thing that has the high alcohol generally? Generally a Belgian thing. Most of them tend to be a little bit higher. I mean, their lowest ABV is usually a wit beer, about 5%, but most of them start anywhere from 6.5% to 7.5% is usually a pretty standard Belgian beer, but. Again, you shouldn't drink all 12 at once. No, not at all.
Are you doing flights, though?
Yeah, you can do flights of it, but I would suggest ordering a full pour to actually experience it. They're, anywhere from 8.5 to 10 ounces worth of beer, so it's not like you're committed to a full pint. But we're doing this awesome punch card, so you can go through, work your way through all 12 beers, and when you complete that, turn it in, and we'll get you a $20 gift card.
And I was going to mention that the punch card is good. So if I have 1 or 2 at one location at a Cafe Hollander, then I go to another location. I can bring my punch card, and maybe I have another one, and you guys punch it there, and you've got all month to get the 12.
Exactly, you got all month, and even into a little bit of January, we'll have there. But another way to try it too is we're doing a beer class at our Cafe Central location next week, Wednesday the 18th, from 6 to 8 p.m. So we'll be featuring 7 of those beers. We'll go through and talk about them, give an in-depth description, and you can try them all. We'll actually give you a punch card for the first 7 that you tried, so you're already only going to try 5 more after it.
That's not bad. For those, because again, you look at the list, and I'm excited about a number of them. But some people might come in and they're not really beer aficionado. They haven't tried a lot of different things. Can you explain to the uninitiated the difference between a double and a quadruple? Or a double and a
a double and a quadruple. So double going to be on the malty side. You're going to get notes of chocolate. ABV is going to be a little bit lower, about 6 to 8%. Quadruple, you're going to get a little more boozy, about 10 to 12%. You're going to get a little more caramel and raisin and kind of almost syrupy notes to it.
All right, so you got to get into a Lowlands location, pick up your punch card, and get to work. This is your homework. You got to try the 12 beers of Festivus. Caden, thanks for joining us. Good luck with the program.
Hey, thanks for having me.
My pleasure. All right, take care. That's Caden Milton. He's the Lowlands Group Beverage Development and Operations Manager. There's more on Spanning the State.
Tony Drake here from Drake & Associates. Big news. Our Retirement Ready radio show is moving to a new time slot. Catch us at noon every Saturday. At Drake & Associates, we craft tailor-made plans that not only meet your financial needs, but align seamlessly with your unique lifestyle. Tune in at noon on Saturdays and get retirement ready.
Drake & Associates, LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates, LLC does not provide legal or tax advice.
People often ask, how are you so handsome? No, Ben. Speak for yourself, Arvid. People want to know what penny mustard furniture we have in our homes.
Well, I'm proud to own the Elysian sofa.
The Elysian sofa?
It's actually the SB 243 sofa, but I call it the Elysian sofa.
Nicole, what made you choose the Elysian?
It's like comfort and sophistication had a baby.
Huh?
If you dropped in for a visit and saw my sofa, you'd never know I'd been relaxing and binging the latest Dutton family saga.
No spoilers.
And I don't mind when the dogs jump up to bark at a plastic bag blowing through the yard because there aren't any back cushions to destroy.
Okay, I just have one question.
Yes?
Sofas can have babies? The Elysian sofa, American-made with solid wood construction, individual seat springs, and Qualix Ultra Foam cushions, starting at $48.30 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com. Better versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta here. 'Tis the season for celebrating at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Join them this holiday season for special events to get you in the festive mood. From a spectacular brunch with Santa to the holiday marketplace and one-of-a-kind dinner and a show experiences, St. Kate has a celebration happening nearly every week through the holiday season. Make a night of it and extend the experience by booking an overnight stay at St. Kate. Special packages are now available. Celebrate the holidays with St. Kate. Learn more by visiting stkatearts.com/holidays.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet's huge gift sale is going on now. We carry an amazing selection of unique gifts for all the originals on your list. For Western fans, shop our great selection of men's and women's Ariat boots, apparel, and accessories. For the builders and fixers, get $130 off a Craftsman 262-piece mechanics tool set. And power-up gifts with 24 packs of Blaine's brand AA or AAA batteries, just $7.99. Don't miss our huge gift sale, only at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
This holiday season, give the gift of a smile with Community Smiles Dental, a nonprofit dental clinic helping kids on state insurance in southeastern Wisconsin get the compassionate care they deserve. For just $55, you can cover a child's dental exam and care, a small price for a healthy smile and a stronger community. Donate to the Smiles for the Season campaign, sponsored by First Business Bank at communitysmiles.org. Everyone deserves a healthy smile. Make your gift today at communitysmiles.org.
On the other side of the news, we will talk to Chris Forham because Milwaukee used to have a Christmas parade and now it doesn't. Where did it go? What happened?
Trying to think if we still had it, would I go?
Ooh, another good question.
Parades, sitting in the cold is not always my cup of tea.
Mardi Gras parades are the only parades I will attend because they give you a lot of things.
I was going to say you get a lot of beads.
And you can be drunk. ABC News and local headlines next.
This is a special report from ABC News, Health Care Killing Update. I'm Michelle Franzen. A trail of clues and sharp eyes leading to an arrest in Pennsylvania today, connected to last week's targeted shooting death of Brian Thompson, the head of United Healthcare. Police in Altoona arrested a person of interest, they say, on unrelated charges after a McDonald's employee reported him, saying he fit the description of photos released publicly. New York City Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch identifying the man of interest as 26-year-old Luigi Mangione.
Upon further investigation, officers recovered a firearm on his person, as well as a suppressor, both consistent with the weapon used in the murder. They also recovered clothing, including a mask consistent with those worn by our wanted individual.
Authorities say they also found writings believed to be the person of interest that could point to motive and mindset. The University of Pennsylvania says Mangione graduated from 2020 with a degree in engineering. This is ABC News.
Signing Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 2:31. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Adam Roberts. An arrest has been made in the killing of a man found under a tarp in Waukesha. 62-year-old Kevin Leischwick arrested last Friday in connection to the finding of the body of 56-year-old Carlos Maldonado in October near North and Moreland Boulevard. Maldonado found with a gunshot wound with his body concealed not far from the apartment complex where he and Leischwick both lived. Leischwick allegedly had a hit list, and Maldonado was the first person on it. Police cannot confirm if there were other victims. A body has been recovered from the Kewanee River in northeast Wisconsin. Deputies searched after receiving a welfare check early this morning, with a caller saying his brother had gone fishing and never came home Sunday night. Authorities found his vehicle and fishing gear near the Kewanee River this morning, and the investigation remains ongoing. And don't worry if you're driving by Middleton, Wisconsin, and see some smoke in the sky. The Parks Department is doing a prescribed burn in Parisi Park this afternoon. It's the neighborhood park near the Pheasant Branch Creek Trail, so there's no need to call 911 if you see smoke or fire in that area this afternoon. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. All still down are the majors. The Dow off 160 points at 44,487. The Nasdaq down 134 at 19,725, and the S&P 500 is off 35 points at 6,056. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Let's go over the roads. Your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. Still a smattering of incidents across the system right now. The good news is it looks like our earlier crash on 894 East at Loomis has been cleared up, and so all 3 lanes are now open, but it'll still be a bit of a slow go all the way from the Hale to Loomis heading east as those backups start to work themselves out. But the good news is the accident has been cleared. Elsewhere on the system, we're looking at 43 South right near Locust Street, where there was some reported debris in the road earlier. Checking the DOT cam, looks like everything is free-flowing through there right now, so maybe that debris was taken care of. Just be mindful of that as you're working your way south on 43. Everywhere else right now is looking pretty good. In your WTMJ forecast for today, mostly cloudy. A high around 50 degrees, will fall to 30 tonight. Colder tomorrow, mostly cloudy and 34. An Arctic front will be moving through on Wednesday. We could see some scattered snow showers, then a high of 27 dropping down to 15 on Thursday with wind chills likely below 0. Clouds will increase again on Friday after sun on Thursday. We'll see a rain-snow mix Friday afternoon and a high of 31 degrees. Right now in Milwaukee, cloudy skies and 50. I'm Adam Roberts. Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 2:34.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. Better is around the corner in 2025. Feeling better. Getting rid of joint pain once and for all. QC Kinetics patients are able to walk up and down stairs, sleep without pain. Basically, they feel normal again. That can be you. The time is now. Take action to get the pain relief you deserve in 2025. Call QC Kinetics and say goodbye to the shoulder, the knee, or the back pain. QC Kinetics local medical professionals are waiting for you. Regenerative medicine means starting the new year without achy joints. No more pain pills, no steroid shots. The best part, no surgery. Call QC Kinetics today, 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474. Meet their local folks in Greenfield or their clinic in Mequon. I've been there. Great people looking to work with you. And the best part, you can use your FSA dollars. Live the best life in 2025. 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today.
In 1964, we were making strides towards space travel.
Mary Poppins was the #1 movie in theaters.
And the Beatles were taking America by storm.
Which was long before I was born.
Facts. 1964 is also the year it all started for Richland's Tire and Service Centers. 60 years of continuous growth and more happy customers than you can shake a stick at.
Okay, the streamers are a bit overkill. It's just us in the studio.
All right. But it's important to know accomplishments like these aren't possible without a dedicated team. So hats off to them and our founder, my dad, Dick Mitchke, for understanding the importance of customer focus.
Facts. There's no 60 years of anything without you, the customer, which is why our focus will remain on you and only you for years to come.
Thank you from all of us here at Richland's Tire and Service Centers.
Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I'm Kristen Bry.
And I'm channeling Bing Crosby. Yes, a Christmas parade. Hi, I'm Brian Newton. Christmas parade is a holiday tradition in many towns and cities. I got lost there for a moment. I drifted away. In Milwaukee, Kristen, you probably know this, the downtown Christmas parade was a tradition for 91 years. That tradition came to a close in 2018. Well, how'd the parade begin in Milwaukee and what happened to bring about its demise? Chris Foran is the assistant entertainment editor for the Journal Sentinel. He also writes about local history, and he's a favorite here on the program. Chris, welcome. Glad you're here.
Thanks for having me back, Brian. How are you?
We are great. All right, let's start with this. How did the Christmas parade start, and when did it start? What was the evolution?
Well, the thing that Milwaukeeans remember as the Christmas parade started in 1927, and like all good things, it started as marketing. It was a parade that was launched by the Schuster's department store, which was the big department store in Milwaukee back then. And they started at the end of Wisconsin Avenue and went due west past Gimbel's, which is one of their big rivals, and then also Boston store and another department store for oldsters, Chapman's, was down there. And it went all the way to 11th Street. The downtown Schuster's was at 12th and Valete, which is now the former county services building.
Okay.
And it went that whole way, and it grew over the years.
So was Schuster's just trying to thumb their nose at all these other stores?
Yeah, but I mean, little. But I think it was just as much just big marketing about getting people in the Christmas mood and getting them to shopping. And Milwaukee didn't have a lot of that kind of stuff in the downtown. It was even another decade before they had the downtown lights and things like that. So this was just a part of that, and it was a big deal. I mean, people came out, tens of thousands of people would come out and watch the parade, and had these big, enormous floats. There was one that looks like the size of a small battleship that we've seen in our pictures, and it spawned all sorts of things, including a radio show. There was a character named Billy the Brownie who would come out every. He was sort of the symbol for Schuster's for Christmas.
Okay.
He was part of the parade. And Santa was part of it, of course. So they had in the early years, they actually had live reindeer who were part of it. And they actually kept them at Schuster's downtown.
Oh, wow. All right. So then the 50s brought about some changes to the parade. And what were some of the changes that came?
Well, the parade in part used to follow the old streetcar routes. They actually were on rails for a while, or at least on those routes. And as the streetcars changed, the routes changed. And by the 50s, they were on they were more buses and trolleys than they were, trains. And they also tried to go farther. They really expanded the route, then they cut it back, trying to again focus on the people getting interested in shopping and interested in the stores down there. It went as far as 38th Street and Valete, and then went all the way to 12th Street where the Schuster store was, and then went all the way east on Wisconsin Avenue to Plankington, and then south on 2nd Street all the way to, I think, National Avenue. It's a crazy route.
That does sound like a really crazy long route.
Wow.
Well, and the thing to remember, and I lived here nearly my entire life, and I forget this, there were no freeways back then, so. These are the straight shot. These are the busy streets in town.
Okay. And up until that point, still lots of people coming out. Everybody's enjoying the parade. Then in 1961, Schuster's was bought by their former nemesis, Gimbel's. How did that change the parade?
Well, there was another parade that the Downtown Merchants Association did, just called the Downtown Association, and they initially presented it as kind of a bigger parade, but it was scaled. It actually scaled it back, and they moved it to the date that most people who were around to remember the parade remembered. It's always they moved it to the Saturday before Thanksgiving to extend the shopping season. Really,
before Thanksgiving?
So even before the Macy's parade.
Yeah, it was up, and then I think from then that was in the early '60s, and I think until the end it was the Saturday before Thanksgiving.
Wow,
that is, and so people have been complaining about things starting before Thanksgiving for a long time.
I guess.
I mean, it's sort of a tradition to complain about how commercial Christmas is.
Fair enough. All right, so then when did the parade's fortunes start to change?
Well, I mean, it changed for the same reasons that a lot of those things downtown changed. A lot of those stores started to disappear.
Yeah.
The Gimbel's Schuster's were the stores that they started closing. They had one on Mitchell Street that closed. They had one on King Drive that closed, and they finally didn't have the money to support those parades anymore, and they pulled out. I think. Gimbel's closed in 1986. They were one of the main funders, and then it went to downtown. They recruited some people to ran through Downtown Association, but they kept having trouble getting money. And there were a number of times in the 90s and the early aughts where our coverage showed that it was on the verge of being canceled, and the last minute the money would come in.
And then what happened? Finally, it got to that point where there was a shortage and that year the money didn't come in. Who finally pulled the plug?
Well, there was a family that had been charged with running the parade, and they it wasn't their money. They were the ones running the parade, and they every year would they'd spent several generations making sure this parade would happen, and the strings finally pulled. I think the last couple of years, I think it was Johnson Controls was one of the major funders of the parade, and they just said, yeah, we're not going to do that anymore, and it was just hard to find that, and that's true for a lot of things in Milwaukee where there isn't a big company to back it anymore, and where do you get that money? And they just finally said, we can't do it, and the family was also at the point where they were ready to retire, and there was nobody to pick up the reins.
Is there any appetite for this to come back?
I not that I've heard.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was not the only. I hate to say that it's not the only one of those traditions. We don't have a Memorial Day parade anymore, and same issues. They couldn't get volunteers. They couldn't get funding.
So I'm trying to think. In Milwaukee now, there's the Pride Parade. There's the St. Patrick's Day Parade. What are some of the other big parades that still exist?
But there's still a Veterans Day Parade.
Veterans Day Parade. Okay.
And there's a Labor Day Parade.
Really?
It's tied to Labor Fest. And after that, you start to run out. I mean, Milwaukee used to be a big, we had a Circus Parade, and we had, they had a thing around 4th of July called Downtown Days back in the 50s and 60s. In the 30s and 40s, they had a midsummer festival, but now we have Summerfest. And there were parades tied to that for a while, too. The City of Festivals Parade that happened in the 80s that Mayor Meyer was a big fan of.
That's amazing.
But it's you need to get the money.
Yeah.
And in Milwaukee historically, a lot of these cultural events were possible because it was a big corporate backer.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody wants to do it.
There aren't a lot of those companies here anymore.
That's true. Before we let you go, Chris, were people still coming to the parades even toward the end? Where I know you mentioned at the beginning, there were tens of thousands of people coming along the route. Were those people still coming out?
If you believe our photo library, yeah. I mean, there's still a fair number of people, but Milwaukee is, we like to say Milwaukee is the land of the free. We love a good free event. And again, it wasn't just the cynicism that people like to, Christmas lasting forever. People like to get in a good mood, and I think that there was some of that, and there were, school bands played in it,
sure,
and, things like that, and we still have smaller communities. There are a lot of communities that have 4th of July parades, and there are a lot of communities that have, there are smaller communities that have Christmas parades too. So.
Well, we appreciate you keeping an eye on all the Milwaukee historical events and then coming in and telling us about it. Chris Ford is the assistant entertainment editor. He writes about local history, about music, about all kinds of things, and then he comes on our show and talks about it, and we appreciate it. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Take care.
You too. So would you take Frankie to a Christmas parade? Like maybe
I mean,
not
there's
this
other
year.
ones around, and there's smaller communities that we could go to.
Be honest, it's all right.
We'll see.
I'd say no.
Like the third ward Christmas spectacular, or whatever. It's not a parade, but like in the third ward every year, they have live reindeer. They have the lighting of the Christmas tree. Like it's a fun event. But I was like, I don't really want to take her in the cold.
Well,
I feel like she's gonna get cold. She can't tell me that she's cold. I don't really want to be cold, and so I wussed out. We went to Kegel's Inn instead.
I don't blame you. She looked like she was having fun in those pictures. Yeah, I mean, the cold is one thing, and I didn't mean like this year. I mean, what she could say, Mom, this is awful. I want to go home.
I feel like once they're really having fun, you suck it up.
Yeah.
But like as far as I don't need to see it so badly that I'm gonna force her to sit there.
Yeah, I get that. All right, listen, if you are over a certain age, man or woman, and winter's coming, and they're talking about perhaps some snow flurries this week, but snow always comes to Wisconsin, I may have some good news for you. Scary news, but still good. We'll get to that after this on Spanning the State.
The holiday season is a magical time of year to visit Lake Geneva. Embark on an enchanting Santa cruise on the lake. Take in a parade of trees and marvel at the world's tallest glass tree, built before your very eyes. Enjoy holiday shopping in a historic downtown. Chill out with festive food and libations in an igloo under the stars. Or find adventure on a zipline, ski hill, or snow-covered nature trail. Make Lake Geneva your place for holiday fun this year. Check out visitlakegeneva.com today for all the festive details.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
Where the heck is everybody?
Hasselus mattress showrooms are employee-free. Test your Beauty Rest, Sealy Posturepedic, or Serta Perfect Sleeper without salespeople breathing down your neck.
Okay, but...
That means we can sell for way less. Our 43 beds from the top 5 brands start at $393.
Yes, but...
And through Monday, get an extra $248 credit just for shopping local.
I just have one question.
What's that?
Where the heck is everybody?
Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasselus.com.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Patrick and Monica initially chose a bank to get pre-approved and provide financing for the purchase of their first home. But they were getting a bad feeling when a week after their offer was accepted, the bank still hadn't locked in their rate, nor had the appraisal been ordered. Monica shared her concerns with a friend who happened to be a multi-time AccuNet client. That led to Monica connecting with one of our senior loan consultants the same day, and after gathering some information and reviewing options, we locked in their rate right then and there with loan costs $3,600 lower than what the bank had quoted. The appraisal was ordered right away too, and the loan closed on time just 3 weeks later. We also noticed an oversight in the contract that led to a $3,000 credit from the seller. You can get a generic pre-approval and average or worse service from a bank, or you can get the kind of fast service, advice, attention to detail, and savings that made Monica and Patrick AccuNet's latest raving fans. All you got to do to get started is click on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano with the perfect holiday gift, a new garage door. Lifetime Door Company transformed the look of my family's home with a beautiful made-in-America garage door. You never realize how much your home's curb appeal depends on that huge space. Lifetime Door Company's experts help you choose the right door to fit your style. And they have the service team you expect from a local family-owned business. Here's the holiday deal. Tell them Vinny sent you. They'll knock 5% off the total purchase on all service and installation. LifetimeDoor.net.
No matter how many people are in your family, buying new jackets for the cold weather months can be expensive. But when you shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, prices on cold weather jackets will give you a sigh of relief because thrift store prices mean great deals. And right now we have a great selection. Find great deals on cold weather jackets for the family at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
One day it snowed real hard, up against the fence in my backyard.
I want to keep listening to this, but we have to start the show because we don't have that much time left. I'm Kristen Bry.
I'm Brian Noonan. Who is this, Nate? Who is it? Tom Chaplin.
Tom Chaplin.
All right, I got to find this out. Because it is going to snow, Kristen. You know that. Do you have a snowblower? You have Mike. Does Mike go out and shovel by hand, or does he have a machine?
We have a machine.
A machine. That's smart. I always had
He
a
does
machine.
it, but the thing is, he does the machine, but then he does like the whole neighborhood.
Well, that's
like when basically the one big snow we had last January. He did I think he went almost the entire block for everyone.
It's addictive when you have one of those big machines. I had a big errands for a while, and it is because you're like, well, I don't want to just do it in front of my house.
Yeah.
Because then the rest of the block looks dumb. So you just keep going. It's like, oh, all right, I'm off on a quiet walk. By quiet with the engine roaring in your head. But now I shovel because I have a small city lot, so I have to shovel.
So you shovel?
I shovel.
Okay, you don't hire some kid on the block to come do it for you?
There's no kids. That's the problem. The kids these days.
See, we always get, if it wasn't already having a snowblower, we also have kids and sometimes adults who show up in the neighborhood and be like, hey, $20, can I shovel for you? So we have people who offer.
If they did my alley too, I'd 100%. But this just came out from the American Journal of Emergency Medicine, and it's perfect. I've got a great excuse now not to shovel. Because we all know snow shoveling can be dangerous. You know, that's what they say.
Yeah.
Widowmaker snow, heart attack snow.
Yep.
The last one was that wet. So But this is how dangerous it is. Nearly 200,000 adults were treated in emergency rooms for snow shovel-related accidents. Now, I don't know if it's, snow shovel-related accidents means somebody could have hit you in the head with one. That's only from 1990 to 2006.
That feels like very outdated
data. That is
data.
outdated data that was in the paper today.
Okay.
This is they didn't dig back, but a lot you hear it every snowfall. There are people on the news and they're like, "Oh, don't shovel if you've got risk of a heart condition, or you could have you could seize up, you could drop," and then they gave a cutoff age. What do you think the cutoff age is for people to start being very careful when they go to shovel snow?
Well, what I guessed this morning, and my guess was 55.
Yes, and you were giving people the benefit of the doubt because it's 45.
That feels young.
It does feel young. Man, when I was 45, shoveling at 45 was nothing.
Yeah, like
you get
I
out
feel
there
like
and
that's
just shovel.
Were you that out of shape already?
No, I was not.
Why 45?
Well, here it is. 45 adults, according to the American Heart Association, adults older than 45 should be cautious because they may have underlying conditions that they don't know about. Maybe they have known or suspected heart disease. No. High blood pressure or high cholesterol, okay. And then it comes into a lot of people I know, people who regularly smoke, are very inactive, are obese, or are habitually sedentary. Think about the people who they don't do much, and then the snow comes and they think, I could go out and shovel that snow, and they haven't lifted more than, their fork to their mouth for months and months, and now all of a sudden it's, I'm going to take care of the yard.
And then
they
surprise.
So I may have to start playing the age card at some point.
I feel like you should. I mean, you have data to back it up now. As far as I am too old to be doing this. Someone else. You need to recruit younger folks to come do the or maybe you need to invest in a snowblower.
I bought last year. I did. I knew I wasn't going to need it because I bought it. I bought just a small electric snowblower for the alley. Because the sidewalk and the gangway down the side of the house and the sidewalk in front, even if I do next door neighbor, that's nothing.
Okay.
It's the alley. And the city doesn't plow the alleys. So you got to do the alley. And the alley is where I will meet my end. And no one will come and look for me. So while you're thinking about that beautiful picture, let's do this on Spanning the State.
By now, you've probably figured out what's most important to us at Semper Fi is our reputation. Building a great character-driven remodeling company is actually quite easy. It's just the first 20 years that are a bit challenging. Great companies are collections of great people, and we have